And the best description of him is he's mad. That's all. That's the best description. And the most near description you can give. And this is Krishna Consciousness Swami, all along his Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says that Mahaprabhu and his associates were mad in ecstasy. We have heard that, no? But Krishna Consciousness Swami makes a point in Ante Leela that Mahaprabhu's actions, his words, his life, his associates, they were practically really mad, at least from an external, when outside people used to look them. In fact, Mahaprabhu came to teach us there are just two options. Either we become mad in this mad world, or you become mad for Krishna. There are just two. Either way you have to become mad. You will become mad. And to explain how he was mad and why do we call him a madman, why he's famous like that, how his words appear to be mad, how his actions appear to be mad, how his dancing appears to be mad, why he's called such a way by all his associates, Prabodhanand Saraswati. If you want to know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are so many sources you can read. Prabodhanand Saraswati in his book Chaitanya Chandramrit, over and over he says again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's mad and he makes people others mad. And then Lochan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Mangal, that he sings songs about glories of madness of Lord Chaitanya in that book. And then Vrindavan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Bhagavat, there almost at the end he describes Lord Chaitanya. And Chaitanya Chandrodaya, Kavi Karnpur Das, he talks about specifically about Mahaprabhu's travel in South India in details, and there he's explaining how Mahaprabhu made everybody in South India practically mad. And then what other books are there? Chaitanya Charitra, Murari Gupta, he describes about how Mahaprabhu, even in his childhood, he was doing such actions which were incomprehensible for people. So, see, there are so many books, so nice books about Lord Chaitanya, but the main backbone of his pastimes, to understand him, his philosophy, his actions, his mind, Chaitanya Charitamrita is a book. This is Kindle, this is not Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I have opened Chaitanya Charitamrita here. So that's the book you have to read. And this is the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ante Leela, which I am reading. And why I am reading this is almost the last chapter. This is chapter 20, Ante Leela. And this chapter describes about Shikshashtakam, which we sing daily. And Shikshashtakam are composed by Mahaprabhu, but it's his words. But if you read this chapter, Mahaprabhu he's composing these verses, is tasting these verses and commenting on them himself. And he's revealing to the world that through his words why he's mad. And that's the hidden message in Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, if we understand properly. And that's what I'm going to show you today by reading this chapter. But before that, if you read, you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, his childhood pastimes. If you have a look there, Adi Leela is mostly talking about childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, mostly childhood pastimes. So there, what he does, his actions are crazy, childhood pastimes. What he is doing, he's sitting on those vessels which were jhuta. What do you call as jhuta? Contaminated vessels. He's sitting on that. And Sachima comes and she says, why you are sitting there? And then he's arguing, philosophy with his mother. And sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was, as a boy, as a child, there was a snake and he went and sat on the snake. That's madness. Obvious madness. Which child will do that? And then when he became young, as Nimai Pandit, he was called Nimai Pandit, he was a scholar. He was the greatest scholar in Navadip. In fact, in whole India, he was a big scholar. At that time, Nadia and Navdeep and Mayapur were the center of studies. Just like now, we have Stanford. So at that time, Nadia was Stanford of India. That's what I can say. People used to come from all over the world to learn, and the greatest professor was Nimai Pandit. There, he was known for his scholarliness. And this is explained in Madhya Leela, his adult pastimes till 24 years. That's what his Madhya Leela is talking about. When he's married, and at that time, people used to call him mad, not because he was mad in ecstasy, because he was mad in atheism. That's why he was mad. He used to say, "Yo, Krishna is complete nonsense, is Vaishnavism." He used to convince people. Gadadhar Pandit, Advaitacharya, not Advaitacharya, but Gadadhar Pandit and other associates, Murari Gupta, when they used to meet him in the streets as a householder, he used to say, "You're wasting your life. You're chanting Hare Krishna. It's simply waste of life." And he used to catch them and argue with them and defeat them in arguments and prove to them that actually devotion to Krishna is a complete waste of life. And that's why people used to call him mad. So people used to call him mad in atheism. He was like that. And devotees used to avoid him when he used to walk on streets. So Gadadhar Pandit, it said Gadadhar Pandit, Murari Gupta, when they were walking, they used to see from far off, Nimai Pandit is coming, they used to change the lane, and because then he'll catch them and then convince them that devotion is nonsense. So, and then when he took sannyas, that is Ante Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, after 24 years, there was a transformation. And even before that, when he went to Gaya and he came back, he was a transformed personality. From Gaya, he came back and he started his Sankirtan movement. And then people started calling, first he was mad in atheism, now he's mad in theism, theism, whatever. He's mad. First he was mad for money, name and fame, now he's mad for God. And they used to do kirtans, all the devotees used to take and do all night kirtans. You can imagine Srivas Thakur's house. He used to do whole night kirtans. Nobody was sleeping. For 6-7 years nobody slept. What do you call this? Madness, no? It's practically madness. A whole day they were doing kirtans on the beach, on the shore of Ganges, and then in the night they used to assemble to kirtan in Srivas Thakur's house, and they used to close the door. And nobody was allowed. And Pandits of Nadia, they were saying, see, he's gone mad and he's making people mad and he's doing mad actions. They're chanting whole night. They're chanting. They couldn't hear Hare Krishna from outside. So they were saying actually they're chanting high. They're doping drugs, and they're chanting their ha and whatever, they're having party, and so they couldn't figure out what's happening around. So they complained to the Qazi that these people have become mad, and Nimai Pandit is crazy. Probably he's having a disease. He's having epilepsy. That's what they used to say. And even one Sachima, she called for a doctor. She was confused whether my son is become mad or he's insane. She called for a doctor to check Nimai what happened. She was suspecting psychiatric problem. And doctor came and he couldn't figure out. But then other devotees convinced Sachima, this is not psychiatric problem. This is ecstasy, what Mahaprabhu is facing. And then when he became Ante Leela, when he became sannyasi, that of course, as sannyasi, he was last 18 years, last 24 years of his pastimes, sannyasi. Out of that, 6 years he was preaching. South Indian tour, Vrindavan, and he was preaching, and his words, how he was preaching? Primarily by kirtan, by dancing. And it is said that the dancing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's an expression of his love and madness. That is expression. It's not ordinary dance. He's not just dancing like what we dance. It's not like that. Why Mahaprabhu is dancing? Because, previously all the saints used to meditate, like Prahlad, Dhruv, you see Bhagavatam, and they were experiencing intense ecstasy in their heart. So Mahaprabhu thought, I have to show them what I am feeling, what these devotees are feeling, how to show them. And the method he chose is dancing. And the dance is an expression of love. The dance is expression of that. He took out that ecstasy and showed to people, here this is what devotees are feeling. Just look at it. And when Mahaprabhu used to dance, he used to weep in such a way that people who were surrounding him, their shirts used to get wet. Their clothes used to get wet by his tears. It used to go like showers. And in fact, his dancing was also a revolt. In fact, Mahaprabhu's dancing has a lot of imports. That was a sign of revolt for the society. Is it? So they danced and went to the Qazi's house. They were dancing on the streets of Puri. And that this dancing, Mahaprabhu said, it is a revolt against society. It is showing people, see, we have revolted against you. We don't accept any norms what you have in society. We don't accept what you do. We are different. We are devotee of Krishna. Our lives are different. And we are dancing and we are showing that, you see, you are not happy, we are happy. That was Mahaprabhu's technique, to defeat without speaking. He defeated Prakashanand Saraswati without Prakashanand Saraswati, almost without speaking. He had a discussion, but even before that he was defeated. So that's his dancing all about. And his associate, and the last 12 years of his life, he was sitting in Jagannath Puri Gambhira. And in that room, which was like almost, you might have seen Jagannath Puri, Gambhira, you have gone there? Gone there, all of you? That room is like half of it, like 1/4 of this room. 12 years he is living there. He didn't sleep. He almost didn't eat. He was rubbing his mouth on the walls of that room. Was bleeding. Whole mouth was bleeding. Everything was bleeding. He was having tears, and there was not tears of water. There were tears of blood. 12 years he was like that. Day, night. And he was simply thinking one thing. One thought was there. And Krishna Consciousness Swami explains. He was thinking, to whom should I go? To whom should I explain my condition? That without Krishna I cannot live. That's the only thought. That is the only thought he had for last 12 years. And he passed that. And he was showing us that ultimate aim of life is to become mad. That's what he was showing us. We cannot do that, but we can appreciate that. But so, what about his associates? Nityanand Prabhu. Nityanand Prabhu practically is called madman, is it? He used to go in Ganges, and there were crocodiles, and he used to catch the tails of crocodiles and then bully them that you're not chanting Hare Krishna. And all of the devotees, they were like shouting from the shore of Ganges, come on Nityanand Prabhu, come, it's crocodiles, and he is not hearing. He's not hearing. And there was one devotee of Mahaprabhu associate, Murari Chaitanya. So if you go to Navdeep, there's a place, Mamagachi village. You go there, Murari Chaitanya. And he used to go in the night in the forest, and he used to shout, Hare Krishna, the trees, please chant. And then he used to go, and tigers were sleeping, so he used to catch their ears, wake them up, slap them. Why you are sleeping, wasting time? Chant Hare Krishna. This is madness actually. What do you say? This is complete madness. And then there was one devotee of Mahaprabhu, Mahesh Pandit. From Navdeep, if you catch a boat and go across, there's a place called as near Calcutta, Rudravallapur. There's a temple of Mahesh Pandit. He was a associate of Nityanand Prabhu. And when he used to chant and they were dancing, all the animals from the forest, foxes, lions, they used to come. And they used to surround the temple. And he used to go to each animal, and then he used to say chant, and everybody was chanting like that. That is Mahesh Pandit. there was one more devotee, Rudra Pandit. Nearby there's a temple of him. And when he used to chant and doing kirtans, what people used to do, Bengali people, they used to bring dead bodies there. Like people die in your house, they used to bring dead people, keep them there. And when chanting, he used to chant in ecstasy, and kirtan finishes, people come to life. That is Mahaprabhu's associates. They become life. They start chanting by his chanting. They get up and start chanting. So people used to keep their dead people. Anybody used to die, so they used to tell, okay, carry them not to the burial ground, carry them to Rudra Pandit and Mahesh Pandit's kirtan. They used to keep on the door, and in between of the kirtan, they'll stand up and start chanting, and then after kirtan, they'll have prasad, go back. So what do you say? Nobody has seen like that, these kind of fastings. No, Ramanuja, Madhva, Vallabha, Nimbakacharya, nobody showed, no saint has showed like this. No saint, no matter how much elevated they are in love of God. Nobody. That is why it is said, Achaitanyam idam vishvam. Prabhupada quotes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think Adi Leela, 2nd chapter, 133rd verse, something purport. Prabhupada quotes, Achaitanyam idam vishvam. This word is Achaitanya. Achaitanya means dead, no life. Yadi Chaitanyam Ishwaram. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give life force, life to this word. Anybody who connects with him, he is living. Anybody who is not connected with him, Prabodhanand Saraswati says, even if he is pure devotee of Krishna, according to us, he is dead. If he is not connected to Lord Chaitanya. That's what Prabodhanand Saraswati, Prabhupada quotes in Chaitanya purports. You read that. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was. And Advaitacharya, he was also a madman. He was really crazy. He took a vow to defeat Lord Chaitanya. He took a vow. What do you say? People started saying he has gone mad. What he is doing? He started preaching against Mahaprabhu. That's what he was doing, and information went to Mahaprabhu. Let's see, Advaitacharya is preaching against you. What's happening, Advaitacharya is a person who called Lord Chaitanya from spiritual word, Krishna. He was the instrument who called Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya came. And now suddenly he changed his mind and he started preaching Mayavad. He was preaching Mayavad actually. And he was preaching a book, Yoga Vashisht. There's a book, Yoga Vashisht, which is talking about Lord Ram pastimes, but they're portraying Lord Ram as Mayavadi. So there's a parallel book of Valmiki Ramayana. So that book is famous. So he used to read that and explain all. He used to interpret Bhagavatam and Gita and Mayavad. He was doing that. And then Mahaprabhu came and he said, you foolish man, what are you doing? Are you preaching against me? You have gone mad? Then Advaitacharya didn't say anything. Mahaprabhu went and he caught hold of his beard. He was an old man, no? And pulled him from the seat, started beating him, punching him. That was Mahaprabhu. People were thinking, what's happening? And then Advaitacharya got up and started dancing. People thinking, he's psychiatric problem. First he's preaching again, now he's beating, and now he's dancing. He was dancing and people asked what happened. And then he said, yes, I wanted Mahaprabhu to come and beat me. That was my desire. And now he's done that. And why? Because I wanted to show this word that Lord Chaitanya is my master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to respect him as Guru. But he didn't like that. So to prove that Lord Chaitanya is God, he is even master of Advait, he devised this plan, a mad plan. That was the idea. It was a mad plan. Gadadhar Pandit. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Leela, there are two devotees. Gadadhar Pandit, that you know. There was one more devotee, Das Gadadhar. You know about him? Das Gadadhar? Anybody? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So he was living in a village called as Aryada Gram. It is near Calcutta. And if you go there today, if you manage to reach that place near Calcutta, if you see his deities, you'll faint. It's very different. Whereas Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they are in dancing pose. Like in ISKCON, it's like this, no? Just like this. But they are like dancing pose, different pose, and very beautiful deity. But by the way, you know why Mahaprabhu does like that? There are various postures of Mahaprabhu which are typical and which are people like to make deities in those postures. One is this. If you go to Gaudiya Math, it's like this. Seen this? Yes. And the Mahaprabhu is like this. One is like this. So if you go to Tamluk, there was a devotee of Mahaprabhu, Vasudev Ghosh. His song is there. Vasu Ghosh was a song. Vasu Ghosh song. Yadi gaur na hote tabu ki hoye the. But he was a singer. Vasudev Ghosh, Govind Ghosh and Mukund Ghosh, 3 brothers. They used to sing for Mahaprabhu and used to dance. So Vasudev Ghosh, their deities, Mahaprabhu is like this. So what's the meaning of this? All these things, like this, like this, like this. Their meanings. Mahaprabhu doesn't do, although he is mad, his every action and every word carries meaning. That's spiritual madness. So anybody can tell me what's the meaning of this? Why he's like this? In our temple also, it's Mahaprabhu. It's like that. Yeah. Why? Why is like that? No idea. Any idea? Any speculation? No problems.
Everyone is told it's surrender.
Okay, fine. One thing is surrender. Yeah. Any other thing, because surrender is pre-assumed when we go to Mahaprabhu. It is assumed that when we are going to Mahaprabhu, surrender, you should know why you're coming to me, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's something more deeper than that. And this signifies separation. That's what this signifies. Oh Krishna, where are you? This is a pose of separation. He's teaching us you have to achieve love in separation. This pose like that. And this pose like this, one hand up and one hand down, it is like this hand signifies separate love in separation, and then it goes like this, it goes in the body, it comes here and he gives you. Like that. In this pose he doesn't give you, he's just in his ecstasy. He's in his own mood. That's why Gaudiya Math has like this. It's like this, so you can take it. And then they're both hands like this. It is like this. Can you say what's the meaning of this?
Extra special mercy.
No.
Really love Godhead.
No. It's a hidden thing. That's like that. But this is like Mahaprabhu is saying, give me your ego. Give me your ego and I transform into love and give you back. That's Mahaprabhu. Nobody said like that. Krishna said, surrender to me. Give me your ego. But he doesn't transform that ego into love and he doesn't give you back. But Mahaprabhu is Namo Mahavadanyaya. That's why we call him Namo Mahavadanyaya, the most merciful incarnation. He'll take it, convert it and give you back. He takes stones, convert into gems and give you back. That's why he's the most merciful incarnation. Nobody has done like that. Nobody has done. So that's Advaitacharya and all the associates and his actions, his kirtans. But the question is, why is he acting like a madman? Why is he speaking like a madman? I'll tell what he's speaking. But why is speaking all? Why is acting like a madman? What's the use of that? There has to be some logic behind that. No, otherwise why Krishna is going to do that? Any idea? He could have just acted normally and done his job. He can do that, no?
Well,
He's God.
he came to experience what it's like to be a devotee,
Yeah.
and so he's experiencing.
But then he could have acted sanely also. Not, he could have acted like a sane person, like Christ. He was grave and okay. He could have acted like that and yet he could have done his job. But he chose to become mad. That's what Chaitanya Charitamrita says. He chose to become mad. And there was a reason behind that. Why he did that. And the reason, there were 2 reasons, which Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishna Consciousness Swami explains. If you read properly Ante Leela, you'll get it. And Krishna Consciousness Swami says, he chose to become mad because when a person is mad, he's not aware of surroundings. Is it? He doesn't know what he's doing. And when he doesn't know what he's doing, he does everything. He can do anything. He does everything, no? And in that process, he can embrace a person who is civilized. He can go on street and embrace a person who is drunkard, no? He can do anything. So Mahaprabhu became mad to distribute love of God. He became mad so that he will not see the sins of people. He's not aware of that. And he goes to sinners and embrace them in his ecstasy and give them love. So to distribute love, he became mad. You see, and you experience that, no? There's an example given, just like a king who goes to a war and he wins the war, the most difficult war of all times, and he becomes so happy, is it? And then he comes to his kingdom, and in his happiness he distributes everybody money. He doesn't see who is there. Anybody who comes, okay, take. You also take. You also take. Because he's experiencing happiness. Now he doesn't ask any questions. Even a criminal, he'll say, okay, take. Today I'm happy. So that's why Mahaprabhu became mad, so that he can distribute love. Yogata ayogata na karha vichar. So that he goes beyond qualifications and disqualifications, and he can just give. So to give mercy, he became mad. That's what he does. In spite of the risk that people will criticize him as a madman. And still, many people, at that time at Bengal, many people were criticizing him, many people wanted to kill him. We know that from history. His devotees, Udharandat Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, people were plotting to kill them because they were mad. And he knew this is a risk. He knew this is a risk in preaching. If you behave like that, is it? It's a risk, no? If you come naked here, what? They're crazy. Nityananda Prabhu used to do that. What's happening, you know? So people were thinking these people will spoil the society. You should remember, we are talking 500 years back. 500 years back, it was a very strong culture. We were discussing just 50 years back in India. You can't even imagine what's Indian culture if you have not been to India. Now India is different, but when we were child, it was very different. Culture was very strong, and I was telling that example. The one person, he went to Calcutta just once in his life, and he saw a girl holding the hand of a boy, and he closed his eyes. He said, "This is sin." And then he went back to village, and he never went to Calcutta. He said, "I'll never go to that place which is so degraded." You can imagine. Just holding, that's all. That kind of was a very strong culture. And that Mahaprabhu was there. And if you do such kind of actions at that time, say, come on, what is that doing? Very strong Brahmanical culture. So people were trying to kill him. So in spite of Mahaprabhu aware that people try to kill him, in spite of he was aware that if he does all these kind of things and his associates are doing so kind of things, it might be very difficult to preach to high class people. And that is why Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu to go to Bengal and preach. And he asked Nityananda Prabhu to marry. You can imagine. When Nityananda Prabhu, he was not married before. He was acting like a madman. So Mahaprabhu said, okay, fine, see, anyway, I am a madman. And Advaitacharya is another madman. So nobody are going, high class people, Brahmanical people, they not listen to us. So he ordered Nityananda Prabhu, you should behave a little sane, because we don't want to lose them. So you marry, take a big house, and Nityananda. So have you seen House of Nityananda Prabhu? You might have gone. No, Mayapur might have seen.
Not Ekachakra.
Oh, not Ekachakra. Okay. But there is. So I'm not talking about Ekachakra. There he was born. Near Mayapur, there is a place Kharda.
Is it across the Jalandhar?
Kharda is a place.
But is it on the other side of the Jalandhar?
No, it's on the same side near Calcutta, near Panihati and Kharda. And there you go, Nityananda Prabhu's house is there. It's a palace. It's not a house. He came from Puri. He hired a palace. He married not just one wife, two wives. And previously he was going naked with no house. Now he's having house, two wives. And he was wearing clothes, like extremely costly clothes. He was wearing rings on every of his finger, diamonds. He was having a diamond on his neck and a crown. Still that crown is there. Nityananda Prabhu used to wear. and the ring, they worship that. It's very beautiful. And then he used to go. And then, and all his associates are in rags. And he's just walking like that. And so high class people, they used to come, okay, yes, now we'll say, now their madness is over. And now we can listen to them. So he was preaching like that. So the point was, in spite of knowing all these things, Mahaprabhu became mad just so that he's not aware of our sins. So that he can just freely distribute. Otherwise, as Krishna, he couldn't do that. You see, as Krishna, he could see your people's defect, their sins, and he couldn't really open himself. There's a difference, no? There's a difference. If you are aware of the problems, you can't really open yourself. So Mahaprabhu purposefully made himself mad so that he's not aware of any problems. He can just go, embrace, and give love of God. That was his plan. That was one reason he became mad. And anyway, that was his madness. So here, I want to read this now to you. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antarila, chapter 20. And Krishna Consciousness Swami says, my request is before that, please read Chaitanya Charitamrita. I have not seen devotees who read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Is it? It's like that? Am I right? In ISKCON, very few. Because there is a misunderstanding. Gita is undergraduation. You have heard Prabhupada said this, no? The undergraduation, Bhagavatam is post-graduation, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is super specialization. Prabhupada said this, definitely. But then, so Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he has released a book, Ocean of Mercy, something. So I was reading that, and he mentions that book that he, as a brahmachari, he asked Prabhupada, can we read Chaitanya Charitamrita? Prabhupada said, why not? So then he said, but Prabhupada, you have said devotees are saying that's undergraduation, post-graduation, super specialization. Then Prabhupada said, okay, are you convinced Krishna is supreme? He said, yes. That's why I'm here. Okay, are you convinced that the aim of life is to love him? He said, yes. Then Prabhupada said, then you have read Bhagavad Gita and you have read Bhagavatam. So you can read Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said that. In fact, without reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we cannot understand Gita and Bhagavatam. It's impossible. Because Bhagavatam is natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. We know this. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is natural commentary on Bhagavatam. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you see all the discussions between Ramanand Rai, Sri Damodar, what they are doing. They're giving a Bhagavatam shlok and then commenting on that. And then Bhagavatam shlok, it's going like that. Chaitanya Charitamrita is natural commentary on Bhagavatam. So without reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's impossible to understand Bhagavatam. Impossible. At least the mood of Srimad Bhagavatam. So please read Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think before death, at least you should have read 10 times. At least. Is it? Then we can hope to go back to spiritual world. Still have to use hope word. Or maybe hope against hope. That we can say. It's not easy to go there. Although Mahaprabhu promises that if you're sincere, I'll take you back, but we can't take advantage of this fact, is it? Although Prabhupada said, I've given the backdoor key, but then we can't take advantage of this fact, simply because Prabhupada has given backdoor key, so you don't have to put efforts and you don't have to read. That's not a good idea. And that perhaps will also amount to an offense, like 7th offense, committing sinful activities on strength of holy name. So it's like that, So that is not the idea of Prabhupada. Are you understanding? You are understanding? You have been coming here. You are acquainted with devotion. You are new to this Krishna Consciousness?
Yeah.
Oh. So something you understand, is it? Something. Anyway. Okay, so Krishna Consciousness Swami says here in this verse, Premod bhavita harshayid udvaiga danyarti mishritam lapitam gaura chandrasya bhage vadvir nishevyate. Chaitanya 20th chapter, first verse. And he says, only the most fortunate will relish the mad words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were mixed with jubilation, envy, agitation, submissiveness and grief. You see, a mad person can be like that. He can be simultaneously happy and simultaneously sad. Normal person cannot do that. All produced by ecstatic loving emotions. So Chaitanya Charitamrita will help us to enter that mood and understand what is Mahaprabhu experiencing. That's what he came to give us. Unnata Ujjvala Rasam. The experience and not just the process. All of the acharyas, they gave the process, but they couldn't explain what is experience. Maximum other people say, okay, if you love God, you will experience ecstasy. That's all, finish. But Mahaprabhu explained in his words. He explained it, and he also commented. And Krishna Consciousness Swami says, "Ei mat Mahaprabhu vaise nila chale, Rajni divase Krishna virahe bihavale." Mahaprabhu day and night. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu resided in Jagannath Puri, and he was continuously overwhelmed day and night by separation from Krishna. And now Mahaprabhu explains. You see this. He relished symptoms. He relished symptoms such as jubilation, lamentation, anger, humility, anxiety. What anxiety is to do with devotion, you can imagine. What anger is to do with devotion. What sadness and grief is to do with devotion. What envy is to do with devotion. Are you experiencing that? Eagerness and satisfaction. This is called love. This is called love. Can you tell me any scripture which has defined love like that? Nobody. None. Although they might have said something, but Mahaprabhu told us, commented on this, tasted it, and gave us. He gave such a superior process to such a low degraded people. That's practically again madness, no? If you give a child a jewel, what is going to do? Going to eat it, that's all. There's no value. So Mahaprabhu gave love, Brahmara Durlabha Prem Sabakara Jache. He gave that love which even Brahma cannot achieve. He just threw it on the streets. What Brahma is eager for, and he's meditating millions of lives, give me love. And Krishna doesn't give him. And Mahaprabhu comes and throws on street, okay, take it. And Brahma is, what's happening? I'm meditating for millions of years. And it's throwing on streets. What's happening? This is craziness. This is madness. And that's what Krishna Consciousness Swami is saying. He's experiencing all these things. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks the first verse of Shikshashtakam. Now, should I continue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you tired, all of you? No? Okay. So this is Shikshashtakam. We all read Shikshashtakam. But Shikshashtakam has many meanings, many levels of meanings. Not just one. There's a level of meaning what you read, English. But then there is a level of meaning where you can extract the mood of Shikshashtakam. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur comments, there are various layers of meaning to Shikshashtakam. Philosophical, and from the angle of Rasa Vichar, from the angle of Tattva Vichar, from the angle of Jnana Vichar, from the angle of Adhyatmic, spiritual angle. And that's why Mahaprabhu said, I'm giving you 8 verses, and it compresses all knowledge of all scriptures, what is said in past, present, and what will be said in future. And that is the power of Shikshashtakam. That is why we daily read. But we should read with being conscious what we are reading. So, I'm just going to summarize very briefly. I'm not going to tell you the meaning, you all know the meaning. But I'm going to tell you the mood, what Mahaprabhu is experiencing. And by Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ante Leela. So, this is the first verse. First verse everybody knows. Cheto Dharpanam Arjanam Bhavmahata Nirvapanam. We all know that verse. And you see, when Mahaprabhu is speaking this verse, he's glorifying the holy names of Lord. Let there be victory for chanting of holy names, which cleanses the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of blazing fire of material existence. The chanting is a moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is a life and soul of education. Okay, let me ask you a quiz. So what do you mean by Vidya Vadu Jivanam? Vidya Vadu Jivanam, which comes in first verse. What do you mean by that? Anybody can tell? Just a quiz. Come on.
It's like a vibe of life. No?
Why for life? So that's a very... first verse is very deep. Vidya means education. Vadu means wife. And Jivana means, of course, life. But the meaning is, Vidya is Krishna. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, I am knowledge. No, Vedescha sarver, aham eva vedyo. I am knowledge. And who is Krishna's lover or wife? Radha. So Vadu is Radha. And Jivana means life. The life of Srimati Radharani is chanting the holy names of Krishna. That is said there in this verse. And Radha is manifestation of Bhakti Devi. So the life of Bhakti is chanting of holy names. That's what Mahaprabhu is explaining. Without holy names, Bhakti dies. She doesn't get nourished. Vidya Vadu Jivanam. And by actually explaining all these things, Mahaprabhu is becoming so happy. And that's what he's explaining. When you glorify the holy names, Krishna or his devotees, you experience happiness. But then funny thing happens. Krishna Consciousness Swami explains. As he is glorifying Krishna and the names, he is then experiencing here. Uthilo Vishad Danya Pade Apana Shlok Jhar Ar Suni Sab Jai Dukha Shok. Lamentation and humility awoke within Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can imagine? This is, first he is becoming happy as he is glorifying Krishna, and suddenly as he keeps on glorifying, he becomes sad and humble. So happiness mixed with sadness. So why does he become sad? Do we become sad when we chant Hare Krishna? Never. We become happy? Yes. But Mahaprabhu is becoming sad now. And why it's like that? Why it's like that? Why is becoming sad? When you become advanced, then first you become happy and then sad. He's showing the progress of devotion, what happens. And there's a reason for becoming sad. Prabhupada, I was telling you, many of the photographs of Prabhupada are in a very sad mood, grave. And Prabhupada said, this is ecstasy, this sadness. And that is a gift of Krishna. So, why it's like that? Why a devotee becomes sad when he's glorifying the holy names of Lord?
He realizes that it's not sufficient, that it doesn't, that we lack in taste, we lack in ability, we lack in so many ways. And Lord Chaitanya says that he has no taste for it. And so there's a sadness that our chanting of the name isn't.
Okay, fine. I understand. My question is, how can glorification of Krishna bring sadness? So what's the dynamics? What's the connection with that? You're glorifying him and suddenly you become sad. You were so happy. Not separation, not still. It's not just separation, it's like way off. 8th verse. So why become sad? Because when we chant Hare Krishna, it's so blissful. You're glorifying him. But then suddenly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts thinking. Krishna Consciousness Swami explains. I'm not reading all verses. You can go and read. Devotee starts thinking, oh, Krishna's holy name has given me so much, no? So many effects of holy name. First verse. It can destroy all sins. It can give you liberation. It can give you bliss. So Krishna has come in form of holy name. It is giving us so many things. Krishna is giving so many gifts. And what I have given him? Nothing. And that's why they become sad. He's doing so much for me, but what I am doing for him? Nothing. Maybe I am a burden on him. Maybe no. It seems like that. Devotee thinks like that. So, that's a devotee. So, that's why he becomes sad. And from this sadness comes humility. Real humility. That I am doing nothing for Krishna. What's my worth? What's my value? He's doing everything for me. And why should I be proud? For what? For what should I be proud? For my small knowledge? From my small devotion, what I am doing? And that's where true humility comes. So that's the first verse. That's the mood behind first verse. Why I am discussing all this? To inspire you to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's my intention. That's all of this. I know this is high things, but it's there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But the point is, if we don't read this, then we are never going to achieve this. If we don't know the goal, where we have to go, we never achieve that. There's an internal journey, there's an external journey. External journey is preaching, and we are doing so many things for this mission, but there's an internal journey of our own journey, heart. And if we don't read this as a prayojan, as a goal of life, we never achieve that. Because the trick to achieve this is eagerness to achieve this. As you don't get it. And the eagerness will come when you read it, when you read about Mahaprabhu. And then the morning you go and Mangalarti, you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then you see, you remember, oh, this is love and separation. This is his mood. And then again meditating on that again and again while you're doing services, preaching, but you're thinking in your heart all these things, then a desire will come, oh yes, I should also achieve. This is what Mahaprabhu's contribution. He's showing what is love. He's showing what is madness. It's there, everything in Prabhupada books, see? So nice. You don't have to read hi-fi books. Not required. You can read, you cannot read. Simply Prabhupada books can take you to the highest level. There's another thing why I'm discussing this, to show you that you don't need to go to Gaudiya Math, you don't need to go to Loi Bazaar, I don't know, and bring those kind of esoteric books and read that. Not required. It is there in Prabhupada. That's why Prabhupada said, I've given you everything. This is not a child's discussion what I'm doing. This, I don't know when we're going to understand this, but the idea of discussing this is to convince you that Prabhupada books have everything. That's the idea. That I wanted to show you this. Because we say this, but I'm showing you this. We should be convinced, yes, it is there. So that's the mood. And then with this mood, because he becomes humble, then he says the second verse of Shikshashtakam. You see now connection? Then he says, Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shakti satra petani mita smarnena kala etadrishi tav kripa bhagwan mahapi durdaivam yadrishi ehchini nanuraga. Krishna, your holy names are so nice, but I don't have attachment to it. And this verse will come from humbleness, no? And unless you're not humble, you're not going to say, Krishna, I don't have attachment to you. You're never going to say this. Is it? We'll say, yeah, we are attached. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Ami to Vaishnav e buddhi hoile, amani na manat hobe. As soon as we think that I am a devotee and I have got attachment for Krishna, at that point you cease to be a devotee. No. A devotee never thinks he's attached to God. Mahaprabhu is saying, I don't have attachment to your lotus feet. I'm so unfortunate. So the mood is of humbleness and lamentation there behind that. But mind you, this everything it is spiritual lamentation. It is not to just ordinary lamentation. And then he goes on third verse. What's the third verse? And then he says, Krishna's Kapil Swami says that when he chants this verse, how to attain this platform, how to attain this mood? Trinadapi Sunichena, one who thinks himself lower than the grass, is more tolerant than the tree, who does not expect personal honor but is always prepared to give respect to others, and very easily always chant the holy names of Lord. And he comments on that. Go and read the commentary of Mahaprabhu on this verse. Beautiful verse. And what he says, the mood in this verse is that Premera Swabhav Jaha Premera Gandh Sai Mane Krishna Mor Nahi Prem Gandh. Beautiful. Wherever there is relationship of love of God, its natural symptom is that devotee does not think himself a devotee. Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. This is the mood in the third verse. This is the mood. Well, there's a question here, how can a devotee think he's not a devotee? And this is a big riddle, to say, if you have love, you will come to know you have love, no? But nevertheless, they think we don't have love. So how does it happen? How does it happen? It's funny, no? There's one saying, there's one Acharya, he says, you will never know that you have achieved love. Because when you're getting love, you are thinking, I don't have love. When you've achieved love, then you said, I don't have even a drop of love. So how does it go? Why? How can a devotee think that this is the nature of love? It's beautiful, no? And how can this happen? Prabhupada gives a purport. Go and read the purport. Prabhupada explains there. Chaitanya Tanti Leela. Prabhupada explains. Read it properly and then it's there. I'm not going to go in details. And then you can read all these verses. Go, that's just inspiration for you. And then Prabhupada says, Mahaprabhu says, the last verse was that, Ashlishya padratam finastumam darshanam marmatam karotavad yatatatha bhavitahatulam vado matpanat sevanapara. And Krishna Consciousness Swami writes, Krishna udasin hoila karite parikshan. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is experiencing in this, when he's speaking this verse, he's experiencing all emotions. He's experiencing envy when he's saying this. And that's, how can envy be there in spiritual world? We have not heard about that, but there is envy. There is envy, by the way. But that's something beyond to us. He's experiencing eagerness, humility, a zeal, and lamentation all at once. Krishna Consciousness says, all at once. He is mad now. He is mad. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, all my five senses are going in different directions. He'll explain there. And eyes are tasting the form of Lord, ears are going towards holy name, tongue is going towards tasting his lotus feet or his prasad, and my senses are out of control. That's what he says. The aim of life is to make your senses uncontrolled. If you can understand, that's the aim of life. Not control your senses. And then he says, then Mahaprabhu says that, so my mind is fainting. I don't know what to do. So that's, if you read all these things, then you will be convinced he is mad. 100%. You will never call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as you'll call him mad, definitely. That's the appropriate word if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then you'll also become mad, that's all. Mad in ecstasy. Hasati, rodati, gayati, unmad, vad nityati. Bhagavatam says, sometimes you laugh, sometimes you'll cry, sometimes you'll shout, sometimes you will dance, sometimes you'll faint, you will not care about anybody. That is love. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Chaitanya, madness in action. This is Lord Chaitanya, madness in action. If you want to know, this is a book. This is a Kindle. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Please read Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then we can nurture our heart and give this to others, inspire people, and then we can distribute it also, like that. I can keep on talking whole night, but but that's okay. Chaitanya is nice.
The Vinod has the brahmacharis on the weekly sanghas. They're making their way through Chaitanya Charitamrita.
You're reading that?
Yes.
Yeah, last part of Adi Leela.
Last part of Adi Leela. Okay. Yeah, that's good. You know what? Keep that book with you. What I like to say is marry Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's all. Keep it with you, just like Christians keep Bible. And they're always like that. Keep it and keep on reading it. Keep on reading it daily. And Krishna Consciousness Swami says, when you rub the sandalwood, then slowly smell comes. So if you keep on reading, that's good you're reading. But if you can keep with you and keep on reading, that's a very nice thing. That's what. Anything you have to add? Anything you have to ask? Or can I speak more than this? There's nothing to speak more, yeah.
So you're mentioning different emotions or feelings like envy and these things.
See now...
So most of us are familiar with envy.
That's what I'm saying. This is not thing to be logically understood. No. This is a gift of Mahaprabhu. When you meditate on him, when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Consciousness Swami says, anybody who reads this book, Mahaprabhu will bless you and he'll give you these feelings. And then we can understand. Logic doesn't work here. No. We can't do that. But we are reading this so that we can appreciate Mahaprabhu at least, no? Who is he? We say 𝗪 𝗪𝗲 and you have to know who is he, and then we can really chant 𝗪 𝗪𝗲 with a full heart. At least we should know this. Who are they? Who are Panchtattvas? Who are these devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What they have done for us. That's nice. That's the idea. Yes, Prabhu?
How to develop this mood of freely distributing?
Freely distributing?
Yeah, without consideration.
You have to become mad. No consideration. Like father, like sons. So if you understand who is Mahaprabhu, he is a father, and then you want to become a good son like him, and then we keep doing like him. That's the idea. The more you focus on him, the more you become like him. So it's a simple thing. Just meditate on him and everything proceeds from there. That's what Prabhupada was saying in Bhagavatam. What's that verse? Sarvais gunai satra samasate sura. All good qualities manifest in a person who is devotee of Krishna. It will come. But we have to know him. That's what we were discussing in the morning. We don't know him. That's the idea. We are chanting his names, but we don't know him. Who is he? Fully. For that you have to read this book. Then when you know, okay, this is the person, this is the crazy man who we are following. And you know that. And then you become crazy. And then you can distribute without consideration. That's the system how it goes. There's no technique. It's devotion and meditation on him. That's all. So I don't propose any technique for that. How to become, there's no way. We can say some points practical, but it doesn't work. Ultimate is this. Everything fails. Makes sense, no? That's all. That's all. Just like the Christians, they preach, like previously they were ready to die. Many saints had died for Christ. Why? Because Christ said, when he was giving, he is a scholar. And you can testify. Christ said in Jerusalem, one of his first sermons, he said, he said, don't think, he said, when I die for my Father, you will also die. You follow my way. I die and you also sacrifice your life. It was like that? What's the exact statement he said there?
If they've hated me.
Huh?
If they've hated me, know that they'll hate you. If they crucify me, know that they're also
yes. Yeah. This is the
because
statement.
You have become like me.
Yeah. See. Yeah. This is the beautiful statement. So, if you know Mahaprabhu, you'll become like him. That's all. That's the only way to do. You see,
some Christians carry a Bible, though. Others carry their prayer beads.
Okay, I don't know. We have this picture in India. They carry like that. In India Christians carry Bible like that. I don't know why, but they do that. Probably because of Hinduism and probably. Yeah, yes.
I was appreciating that you were explaining that. My conception so far, my understanding of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda has been that Lord Nityananda is the mad one, and Lord Chaitanya is
his little saint. Yeah. That's true.
scholars and everything.
That's true.
But I appreciated how you explained it.
Yeah.
Made it sound like even Lord Chaitanya was more mad than...
Yeah, he was Krishna Consciousness Swami says he is a trunk. Adi Leela is a trunk and these are the branches, Nityananda Advait. He is a root cause and inspiration of madness for everybody. He is the one who is making everybody crazy. They're connected. He was like that. Nityananda Prabhu, it's a different quality of madness. It's a different quality. Everybody was mad in a very unique way. All devotees of Mahaprabhu. If you read Adi Leela, so many names of Mahaprabhu associates, no? And all those devotees, if you read in details about them, very unique pastime. There was one devotee of Mahaprabhu, Abhiram Thakur. Have you heard his name? Mm-hmm. It came? Yeah. Abhiram Thakur. So generally you understand, just it is said that he was having a stick. He was hitting on the head of people and instantly they used to get love of God. It was like that. But if you go to his place of preaching, which is near Calcutta, so if you go 2 hours from Calcutta, there's a place Tarkeshwar. And then near Tarkeshwar, there's a village Khanakul. If you go there he was preaching. And you know what he used to do, how he used to preach? He used to sit, and then when somebody used to come, he used to become so mad in ecstasy. He used to take a trunk of a tree. He used to uproot a tree. First uproot a tree, and then hold it like a flute on his mouth, full tree, and play that tree flute. Music used to come. Used to function like flute. And what's happening? What's happening with these devotees? Mahaprabhu's devotees were very powerful. They are love, so they could do anything. Anything. He was like that. And so it's still there. That tree is there, which he lifted and he put a flute like that. And Abhiram Thakur married Malini Devi. This is a different Malini Devi from Srivas Thakur's wife. And she was also she was funny. She was like completely different kind of person. So, because what happened is, at that time in that place where they were preaching, people used to kill humans and offer humans to Kali. So that's called Narvali. It was in India that time. Tantrics. They used to catch them, kill them and offer. So Malini Devi, she also used to go to preach to such people. Dacoits and bad people, bad people. But they used to go and preach them so that they connect themselves to God. So she went, and these dacoits, they were very angry, She came to preach about God. So they told, catch her and we'll offer her on the deity. So then when they went to catch her, she was chanting Hare Krishna. She was chanting and he was saying no problem. And then suddenly when he was chanting Hare Krishna, they came near her. She went up in air. She was in air. And one chariot came from spiritual world. She sat on it. And then people were thinking, what's happening? And then she preached from up. And then everybody became a devotee. And then she came back. That's Mahaprabhu's devotees, what they are doing. You can't even imagine. So that's what was happening in those days. If we would have been there 500 years back, I don't know, we would have been able to figure out what's happening. Probably we are better now. It was magic. Prabhupada said, if you chant Hare Krishna, magic will happen in your life. Prabhupada said this statement. And I was thinking, magic? What's magic? Maybe we'll fly or what? But the magic is, we will start understanding the madness of Lord Chaitanya. That's the magic. We'll fall in love with Krishna. Prabhupada said that. So anyway, what else? Anybody wants to comment or we're done?
So, do you know how the Sahajis seem crazy?
Yeah.
Mahaprabhu's associates seem crazy.
Yeah, you're right.
And like Prabhupada, he would try to contain himself.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the devotees want to express some of that
Mm-hmm.
feeling towards the conditioned souls, and in the midst of the Sankirtan mission, they would like to maybe
You're
do
right.
that, but they feel restrained or something. They're only maybe glimpsing a little bit of that madness because it's, I don't know if it's like a shadow reflection,
Yeah, perhaps.
the real thing, but so anyway, in the Sankirtan movement, people, well, they do think we're a little mad, on Harinam, all of that. So sometimes devotees would say, well, restrain yourself. Don't look like crazy fellows, when you're out on the Harinam. And then others say, why restrain it, Show the madness, right?
Yeah.
So there seems to be
two opinions.
like even with Prabhupada, he would restrain himself. So is that what happens with the advanced devotees? They just...
Actually, what Prabhupada advised us, and even Bhaktivedanta, that a lady will never reveal her body in public. She's never going to do that, no? So similarly, Prabhupada always said that these feelings are not to be expressed in public. We know that, no? We are all aware of that. Bhaktivedanta said that. But of course, if we have devotees, some small group, then we can share the feelings with the devotees, of course. Otherwise, what's the point of devotion? That's a realization. As far as preaching is concerned, it's not wise to. And first of all, you're right. I mean, most of us who are feeling some kind of feeling, that's shadow. That's not real. At least, because these kind of things, they are very high things. I think like that. That's my thinking. So these are things to be internally relished, and then externally give enthusiasm to devotees to preach and serve. That's the best thing what Prabhupada was doing, and he was showing us. I don't know what's your opinion in that, but I don't know what you want to tell. But what should I say?
Seems like Prabhupada showed the example.
Yeah, Prabhupada showed the example. Yeah. You have to follow that. Otherwise we'll do more harm to others. It might seem good, but we'll do harm to them. But this doesn't mean that when devotees come together, they should not share their feelings. That's a wrong thing. Because in public, that's okay. But what is matchit madgata prana bodhihanta parasparam? We have, otherwise how other devotees will understand, what is actually devotion. So in small groups, we are devotees, we can all share our feelings and advance outside. Prabhupada was discussing all these things with his godbrothers, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. We all know. And they used to discuss whole night, Keshav Anand Maharaj and all those, their realizations. So that will be, I think, a good model. That's all. I am yeah.
Oh, sorry. So Lord Chaitanya became mad.
In love of God. In love of God. Yeah.
And our aim in reading the Chaitanya Amrita?
Yeah, Chaitanya Charitamrita, yeah.
Is to become like Lord Chaitanya,
Yeah.
mad.
In love of God.
In love of God. Okay.
That's all. But there's a process then for that. Chanting, associating with devotees, then slowly we'll reach there. But see, my point of discussing, I don't discuss all these things generally. I don't do that. But I purposefully did this just for one thing, to inspire you to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's all. That's all. These things are not easy to get. It is not easy. It is maybe almost impossible. We can talk, But really what's happening around there, nobody understands. People who, proof of pudding is tasting. So by experience you can understand, but by logic it's impossible. So the idea, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, he includes this in Chaitanya Charitamrita. You can imagine, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, he was the most philosophical person, by the way. And he wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita for conditioned souls. And he deleted so many of the things which were like in other books, intimate things and hi-fi things, which were in Geet Govind and all books Mahaprabhu used to discuss. It's not there, but this is there.
What was the other book that he read, that he wrote, that he got the title Kaviraj for?
Krishna Kaviraj Swami?
Or maybe it was CC.
No, yeah. Krishna Kaviraj Swami wrote Govind Leelamrit.
Govind Leelamrit.
Yeah. And you see, that's extremely esoteric book. We are not even allowed to read that. Even if you read nothing, you can't even understand that. So he didn't include all those things in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was aware. But nevertheless he included this. To give a glimpse who is Mahaprabhu, to have appreciation for him, and then set it as a goal of your life. So that is why it is said, these feelings, don't try to follow them, try to worship them at our platform. They are not anukarniye, they are pujaniye. So all these I was explaining you, these feelings and mood so we worship it as they are in the sky. We are here. That's what Prabhupada taught us. But in the process of worshipping it, slowly and slowly, when we appreciate it, then one day when we are pure and we are ready, Mahaprabhu is going to give us that. That's the system what all acharyas recommend.
Yeah, because one of the things my Guru Maharaj speaks also is that at the beginning stages of practicing, that we have to learn to not take our emotions so seriously.
Yeah, because now it's messed up.
Material.
It's all material, yeah.
So
these emotions are worshipable. Our emotions are condemned. That's the word that we can use. So like that we see these things. This book is worshipable. That is Lord Chaitanya. That's how we go along. That's all. I think that's what I can say. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, what's happening?
Recently, Prabhupada said that Sahajas, they can imitate every element of devotional service except one.
What?
Sit down and chant 60 notes.
This is a good thing. Probably. Yeah, you're right. Except one more, they can't go for book distribution. They don't go for book distribution. They don't do preaching. In fact, if we worship these feelings, we have more enthusiasm to preach. You can't stop preaching, and stop distributing books. That is this book for. If you can have a glimpse of this, what is this? Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's why I advise people, don't read Chaitanya Charitamrita on 4th floor. If you read that, you'll jump out of the window and say, Krishna is supreme. Just surrender. This book is like that, seriously. I like this book personally, so that's the point. So it will give you enthusiasm to preach, not enthusiasm to sit at one place. And that's Prabhupada had this in his heart, and he had a plan to preach to entire world. That's what this book will do for you. Even if you worship it, not even if you're experiencing it. That's Mahaprabhu's mercy. Mahaprabhu said, even if you don't experience his emotions, you simply read them and worship them, you will have the same effect, same enthusiasm. That's the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift. That's the beauty. That's the effect of that. Some far off effect will come, from very far off. Just like sun, and it is so far off it can make everything hot. So we are far off from goal, but simply recognizing that that's a goal will give you so much enthusiasm to preach and distribute books and make other devotees. And that is the power of this book. So just read it, that's all. Read like a novel. I read it like a novel, not as a scripture. Novels you can read, no? Novel you can read in 2 hours. So just read it as a novel, that's all. I read Chaitanya Charitamrita some 100 times, 100, 200, 300 times, something. I keep on reading. I like this book. And you can also read just like a novel. That's the idea. Like a novel you have to read.
So you say that these feelings are worshipable?
Yeah, worshipable, yeah.
And how do you relate that to, like in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, for example, that one who is not moved by distress and happiness when they arise, because they arise due to sense perception, that person is eligible for spiritual liberation. How is that related?
Oh, I can't understand your question.
Like in the Bhagavad Gita, it says something, I don't know exactly what
anyway,
it says,
that's
but it
okay.
says something to the effect that one who is not moved by distress and happiness when they're arising,
So,
because these are arising due to the sense perception.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to having these feelings that are
these feelings, those feelings are coming from mind. These feelings are coming from soul. There's a difference. So Krishna says, don't be moved by happiness, distress. Those are feelings by your mind. We're working by mind, no? But when we become pure, mind dissolves. Mind dissolves. And your pure soul, you're simply working on soul. And soul has feelings. And those will be activated. Now your feelings of soul are deactivated. You see, there is an off button. It's stopped. And your or mine, not your. My mind is on. That's activated. So Krishna says, deactivate mind and activate your soul. And this Hare Krishna will do. Like this. You understand?
So
simple.
This verse then she's mentioning here, the Gita is really talking about when we're in the conditioned state.
Yeah, Gita is mostly talking to conditioned souls.
And then
Chaitanya is mostly talking.
And what you're talking about in Lord Chaitanya is a spontaneous effulgence coming from his purity of heart.
Chaitanya is talking to soul. Gita is talking to mind.
Gotcha.
So first one should study the Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why Prabhupada said. First Bhagavad Gita, get convinced, and then Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya. That's a system. But we are devotees, like they have read already. So that's why I was inspiring them to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. But for you can read Gita first. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea. Okay. So thank you very much for hearing that. Thank you. Hare Krishna.